In the last 2 years, life has been great, and I can say with 100% certainty that I now look forward to every single day. To give you a summary, we've been traveling quite a bit as a family. I have a very fulfilling day job, and I get to work on my passion every single day. However, about 10 to 14 years ago, I was actually a very miserable person. You see, I followed all the rules and I did everything that was supposed to make me happy. But somewhere along the way, I realized I had been chasing the wrong things. In this video, I want to share with you how I let go of the life I thought I wanted and how that decision changed everything. For some context, I didn't grow up with a lot of resources, and even as a young child, I knew my options were limited. So for a long time, my idea of success was to study really hard, get a high-paying job, drive a nice car, have a wardrobe filled with designer bags and shoes, and then keep upgrading my life. Now, I would never discredit the value of education. In fact, my qualifications have given me a stable life and plenty of security. However, after graduating, I did work myself to the ground for quite a number of years because I thought that was the only way to a good life. I remember working 6 days a week for one entire year without taking any break. Some days, I would even start working at 8 in the morning, only to finish at 7 in the evening. Every day when I came back from work, I had nothing left in me. I didn't want to do anything apart from eating and sleeping. Sometimes people would suggest to me to find a hobby or a way to distress. But I just thought, you must be kidding. I have no time for any of that. The only way I was able to distract myself slightly was expensive designer shopping. When I first started working, YouTube only just became a thing and there was a lot of content about designer shopping. I remember watching unboxing videos every single day, and it's almost like I could feel the excitement of the blogger when they unbox something expensive. Soon, I found myself buying designer handbags and expensive jewelry, and I really thought that was the answer to my happiness. I remember when I bought my Chanel Classic Double Flap, I was over the moon. I used to be that girl that wore a lot of hand-me-downs, and now here I am buying my very first Chanel handbag. That excitement lasted for a few weeks, even though I didn't actually put the bag to use for about a year because I never had the time. As time went on, however, the excitement from shopping wore off quicker and quicker, and the things I bought became more and more expensive. Now, I never got myself into debt, but in order to sustain my lifestyle, I had to keep working really hard. But beneath the surface, there was always this nagging feeling of, is this it? Is this what I'm meant to be doing? Why does it feel so hollow? Am I supposed to just keep working and then keep spending? And then I had my breaking point. One day, I came back from work and I completely broke down in tears because I was so exhausted. The truth was, I knew I was trapped in a rat race, but I had no idea how to get myself out. Around the same time, thankfully, I came across the concept of minimalism and the idea of FIRE, which stands for financial independence and retire early. Those two things immediately spoke to me, and suddenly it became clear why I had been spending the way I did. And for the first time, I started to prioritize the right things in my life. Without much hesitation, I started decluttering. At this point, I had built up quite a collection of luxury handbags, but the ironic thing was, because I was working so much, I never really had time to use any of these expensive things anyway. And so I decided to downsize my wardrobe heavily, and with the cash I got from the sales, I put it into investments. This was when I learned about the concept of opportunity cost, which I talk about a lot on this channel. You see, if I had used my money on the right priorities from the beginning, I would have had so many more options in my life, and I wouldn't have to overwork myself the way I did. So you can see why this was a very important transitional period in my life, because that was when my view about shopping completely changed. And talking about decluttering, I let go of not just my things, but also my goals, expectations, and identity. At this point, I knew I valued my freedom way more than owning nice things. And in order to get my freedom back, I had to use my resources the right way. And so I let go of the idea of chasing trends. I stopped trying to impress people, and I started using social media very intentionally. For a number of years, my intention was to retire early. And because I had such a clear goal, it really helped me navigate my spending. I cut down heavily on my designer shopping, and I never felt like I was missing out on anything. In fact, even my husband was really surprised to see the massive changes in me. Seeing my expenses go down was incredibly refreshing. It was a testament to myself that I could actually work less, earn less, and still live a good life. This was something I never even considered before because I was so fixated on the idea of buying the right things and looking the part in order to be happy. In a way, having a much lower outgoing was a form of leverage for me. Suddenly, the thought of losing my job wasn't as scary anymore. So instead of saying yes to every job commitment that came my way, I started setting healthy boundaries. And because of that, my job became a lot more manageable and even enjoyable. Another reason that I'm able to stay focused on my goals is having a hobby. Now, because I wasn't constantly looking for things to buy anymore, suddenly I had a lot more time on my hands. And that was when I started to explore my interests as an adult for the very first time. For example, instead of going to the shopping malls on the weekends, I started going for ice skating classes and skiing lessons. With some luck, I finally came across digital illustration, which is now a passion of mine and something that I enjoy doing so much. Having a hobby is a major game changer on this journey of creating my perfect life. I cannot stress how important it is to have a creative outlet in my life because not only is it a source of inspirations, it also keeps me grounded. And I find that I no longer have to rely on consumerism whenever I have a good day or a bad day. After years of very intentional spending, we finally hit our financial goal a few years ago, and I decided to take a break from my professional job. Initially, I felt so insecure about not having a 9 to 5 work structure. But looking back, it's actually one of the best things I've done for myself. So my sabbatical lasted for about 9 months. And during that time, I finally had some time to think and reflect. And it really changed the way I looked at life. For example, I used to think my job was unbelievably stressful and demanding. And for a long time, I was obsessed with the idea of retiring early. But during my break, I realized that I actually enjoy many aspects of my job. The reasons I stopped enjoying it were because, first of all, I overextended myself, and secondly, I was also in the wrong place for far too long. During my break, I was also able to spend quite a lot of time with my little boy, and it made me realize how much I want to grow up with him and experience the world with him. In the past, I had been very reluctant to take any time off because of my job commitments, and I feel like I had missed out so much when he was much younger. So going forward, I wanted it to be different. And so I started to design the new chapter of my life. I decided to go back to my profession on a part-time basis. This way, I can still spend quite a bit of time with my family while working a job that gives me a sense of purpose and a lot of fulfillment. Working part-time means I'm earning less in terms of income. But you know what? I'm getting so much more back in return. In my spare time, I can still enjoy digital illustration and my other hobbies. I now also read and journal every single day, and I find joy in the simpler things in life. For example, when the sun is shining, it's good enough a reason to be happy. In the past, I was always rushing to do more and more, whereas now I rest when I'm tired, and I don't feel guilty about it. If anything, I'm actually more creative and productive when I'm well rested. And like I said in the beginning of the video, we now really enjoy exploring new places. For me, traveling is one of the best gifts I can give to myself and my little boy. So instead of spending money on buying more and more material things, I now very much prefer to invest in experiences and creating memories. As for shopping, I still buy things, but I now do it in a very intentional way. It has been a very long time since I bought anything on impulse or because of the fear of missing out. And I must say, it feels so liberating. Looking back, I am grateful for every step of the journey that brought me to where I am now. If you're watching this video and you feel stuck in your life, I just want you to know that you're allowed to change, you can rewrite the script and design your own perfect life. That's it from me today. Thank you so much for being here. Take care and I will see you soon.